Listen carefully, because I'm about to tell you something that no one wants you to hear. Your entire life has been rigged to make you feel like you're behind. Every headline, every timeline, every conversation about success, it's all designed to push you into panic. Why? Because a panicked mind is easy to manipulate. A panicked mind buys things it doesn't need, chases goals it never wanted, and spends years running a race it never signed up for. That's the secret they don't say out loud. This constant pressure to keep up isn't about progress, it's about control. And right now, it's controlling you. Every time you scroll and see someone else hitting milestones, every time you feel that stab of envy, that quiet voice whispering, "You're too late." That's not instinct, that's programming. Think about it. Who decided that you're supposed to have your life figured out by 25? Who made the rule that you're supposed to be married by 30, rich by 35, settled by 40? Those rules weren't written for you. They were written to keep you predictable, to keep you running toward the same finish line as everyone else, blind to the fact that you were never meant to run that race at all. But here's the truth you were never supposed to find out. Life is not a race, and the second you stop running, the second you step off the track they built for you, you'll see what they never wanted you to see, that there is no timer. There is no late. There is no finish line except the one you build. That's why most people stay stuck their entire lives. They're trapped in comparison, trapped in timelines, trapped in fear of being left behind. But not you, not after this. Because once you understand this truth, you can never go back to sleep. And here's what's going to happen next. It will feel uncomfortable. You'll feel like you're going against the current. You'll see people sprinting party. Sinew, chasing promotions, houses, relationships, clout, and you'll wonder if you're falling behind. That's when you have to remember this. Their speed means nothing if they're running in the wrong direction. If you're listening to this right now, it's because some part of you already knows this. Some part of you is tired of rushing, tired of chasing, tired of playing a game that doesn't feel like yours. That's the part of you I'm talking to. And if you trust me, if you stay with me through this, I will show you how to stop running, how to build a pace that no one can shake, and how to turn your life into something so real, so unshakable, that the people who used to compare themselves to you will start comparing themselves against you. But first, you need to wake up, and that begins now. Here's what you need to understand. Time is not against you. The world just wants you to believe it is. They want you to panic because panic makes you obedient. Panic makes you settle. Panic makes you buy into the illusion that if you're not moving fast, you're losing. But let me ask you something. What are you actually losing? And to who? Look at the people you compare yourself to. Scroll through their highlight reels. You see smiles, milestones, achievements, but you don't see the truth. You don't see the debt, the sleepless nights, the quiet panic of someone who sprinted so fast toward success that they never stopped to ask if they even wanted the life they built. You're not behind them. You're just playing a different game. And here's where the manipulation gets dangerous. They've convinced you that patience is weakness, that slowing down means failure. But history proves the opposite. The strongest people, the ones who actually build legacies, move slowly and deliberately. They are strategic. They don't chase noise. They build foundations, and that's exactly why they last. Most people live like firecrackers, quick, loud, and burned out in seconds. You're not here to burn out. You're here to build something that can't be shaken, something that outlives the noise. But to do that, you have to unlearn everything they drilled into your head. You have to stop looking sideways. Because here's a fact you've probably never considered. Comparison isn't just stealing your joy, it's stealing your progress. Every second you spend measuring your life against someone else's is a second you're not improving your own. And the worst part? The people you're comparing yourself to aren't even thinking about you. They're too busy comparing themselves to someone else. It's a cycle, and you've been caught in it for too long. So here's your first real move. Detach. Stop tracking. None other people's timelines like their roadmaps to your own. Their milestones mean nothing to you. Their pace means nothing to you. The only clock that matters is the one you build for yourself. And don't get this twisted. This isn't about going slow just for the sake of going slow. This is about control. Control over your time. Control over your energy. Control over your mind. Because the moment you stop reacting to their race and start moving with intention, you become dangerous, you become unpredictable, and in a world obsessed with conformity, that's power. So ask yourself right now, who are you building for, them or you? Every choice you make from this point forward has to answer that question, because the truth is, you can't win their race, but you can dominate your own, and once you do, once you trust your own timing, they won't even be able to keep up. And that is exactly why they never wanted you to figure this out. You've been lied to about time your entire life. You were raised to believe that life is a straight line. School, career, marriage, success, retirement, done. That wasn't education. That was programming. And if you think I'm exaggerating, ask yourself this. Who benefits from you believing that there's only one timeline for success? Because it's not you. The people who control the game, the corporations, the systems, the ones who make money from your fear, they need you running on autopilot. They need you rushing, because a rushed mind doesn't question. A rushed mind buys into the first opportunity, takes the first job, clings to the first relationship, follows the crowd because it's too exhausted to think for itself. And this is where most people lose everything without realizing it. They build their entire lives trying to keep up, only to wake up years later in a life they never chose. That's the real tragedy, not failure, not going slow, but building someone else's dream while your own dies quietly in the background. Listen to me carefully. Your power isn't in speed, it's in awareness. The moment you stop to question why you're chasing what you're chasing, you'll realize how much of it isn't even yours. That dream house? Maybe you don't even want it. That six-figure job? Maybe it doesn't align with the life you actually crave. That pressure to be ahead? It's not instinct. It's social conditioning, reinforced by people who are just as trapped as you are. So here's what you need to do, and you won't like this. You need to stop running long enough to actually hear your own mind. Because buried under all the noise is a truth you've been avoiding. You already know what you want. You've known for years, but you drowned it out with comparison, with panic, with this obsessive need to measure up to people who don't even matter. And I'll tell you something else too. Hey, don't want you to hear. When you slow down, when you stop sprinting, you start to see how fake most of it is. The curated success, the social media perfect lives, the rushed timelines, and they're fragile. They don't hold up under scrutiny. And once you see through it, you can't unsee it. That's why slowing down feels so threatening. Because it forces you to face the truth. And the truth is, most people aren't living. Men tell me, they're performing. But you're about to stop performing. I want you to do something right now to prove you're serious, to mark this moment as the one where you stop running their race. Drop a comment, twice, exactly the same. Write this, I trust my pace. That's it, 2 times. Not for me, for you. Because the second you say it, you're claiming something most people never will. Control over your own timing. Do it, right now. Because after this, we're going deeper. Good, you said it. I trust my pace. Twice. That wasn't just a comment. That was a declaration, a break from the programming. Because from this point forward, you are no longer playing by their rules. And now I'm going to tell you something that will make most people uncomfortable. Success has nothing to do with luck, talent, or even speed. It has everything to do with mental control. Do you want to know why most people never make it? Because their minds are fragile. One setback, and they fold. One bad week, and they start doubting everything. They're obsessed with quick wins. So when life gets quiet, when success hides in the boring repetition, they lose faith and quit. But here's the reality no one wants to face. Greatness is not loud. It's not glamorous. It's built in silence. Think about it. The strongest people you admire aren't loud about the process. They disappear. They vanish from the noise because they're too busy building. And that's exactly what you need to do. Forget proving anything to anyone. Forget keeping up appearances. Your only job now is to harden your mind to the point where you can outlast everyone. You want to become unshakable? Learn to sit in the silence. Learn to work when no one is watching, when no one is cheering. Learn to keep showing up when it feels pointless, because that's where real transformation happens. Not in the hype, not in the motivation, but in the quiet hours where you either show up or you break. And here's the truth. Life will test you. It will throw delays, rejection, failure, humiliation. But those aren't roadblocks. They're filters. They separate the ones who were pretending from the ones who are serious. Every time you get back up, every time you keep moving despite feeling stuck, you are building something stronger than success. You are building trust with yourself. Because when you can rely on yourself to show up no matter what, you become dangerous. The world can't manipulate you with fear anymore. Society thrives on keeping you insecure. Insecure people spend more, chase validation, settle for less. But a person who trusts their own timing, a person who is calm, deliberate, and unshakable, that person is unstoppable because they can't be rushed, they can't be baited, they can't be controlled. So understand this. Your pace is not slow, it's strategic. Every day you choose discipline over panic, you are separating yourself from the crowd. They burn out because they sprint. You win because you endure. And here's the part that should excite you. Give it 6 months, a year, 2 years of quiet, relentless consistency, and the people who once doubted you won't even recognize you. They'll think you got lucky, but you'll know the truth. You outlasted them. You stayed when they quit. And that is the ultimate power. You think failure is your enemy. You've been trained to believe that failure means you're losing. But I'll tell you the truth they never taught you. Failure is not the end. Failure is the forge. It's where you're stripped down, reshaped, and built into something too strong to break. Most people run from failure because they don't understand its real power. But I'm going to tell you exactly why failure is the most dangerous weapon you can have. Because once you learn how to use it, no one can manipulate you again. Think about it. Why does society push you to fear failure? Why do schools, jobs, even family act like mistakes are shameful? Because a person who fears failure can be controlled. They will take safe jobs they hate, stay in safe relationships they've outgrown, live safe lives that slowly kill them, all because they're terrified of looking stupid, terrified of falling behind. But the truth? Every person you admire, every true winner, has failed more times than most people have even tried. The difference is, they didn't treat failure as a stop sign. They treated it as data, as information, as proof that they were in the game. Failure taught them how to adapt, and adaptation is the ultimate power move. You want to know how to use failure as a weapon? Stop hiding from it. Run toward it. Every time you fail, you learn something your competitors don't. Every time you get rejected, you build a layer of mental armor they'll never have. And over time, that armor makes you untouchable. Because here's the truth. The person who has been through hell and didn't quit cannot be manipulated. You can't threaten them with embarrassment. They've already been embarrassed. You can't threaten them with loss. They've already lost and survived, and that makes you incredibly dangerous in a world built on fear. So start reframing failure. Stop saying I failed. Start saying, hey, I collected data. Every bad investment, every broken relationship, every lost opportunity, data. That's how you adjust your strategy. That's how you outthink everyone else. And the people who mock you for failing, they're too scared to even try. Let me tell you something powerful. Once you stop fearing failure, you become free. You stop playing safe, you stop chasing approval, and you start taking the kind of risks that lead to real success. And that's when your life starts compounding. But here's the warning. This will make people uncomfortable. Because the second you stop being controlled by fear, you stop being predictable. And when you stop being predictable, you become hard to manipulate. Society doesn't like that. People who once felt superior to you will suddenly feel threatened. They'll call you reckless, obsessed, arrogant. Ignore them. That's just the sound of people who can't control you anymore. Remember this. Failure is not a scar. It's a stamp. It's proof that you're in the arena while they're still watching from the stands. And one day, when they finally see what you've built, they'll say you're lucky. But you'll know the truth. You earned it through every failure they were too afraid to take. Let me tell you something that will rewrite everything you thought you knew. You were never behind. You were just listening to the wrong clock. You see, society sells you a map that doesn't belong to you. Finish school by 22, career by 25, married by 30, house, kids, savings, retirement, all boxed and labeled like we're built on conveyor belts. But who created this timeline? Who benefits from it? Because it's not you. That timeline wasn't designed to awaken your purpose. It was designed to keep you predictable, to keep you running toward deadlines so you never stop and ask one brutal question. Is this even my path? You are not a robot. You are not a statistic. You are a living, breathing anomaly. And the moment you stop chasing other people's finish lines is the moment your real life begins. Because your journey is not supposed to look like theirs. That's the point. You were built different. That pain you carry, it wasn't random. That delay you've been resenting, that wasn't punishment. That was timing, precise, personal, and meant to sharpen you into something that generic paths could never produce. But here's the part that's going to sting. The longer you resist your path, the more lost you feel. And you'll keep comparing, keep panicking, keep spiraling, until one day you crash, not because you failed, but because you followed a timeline that was never meant for you. That ends now. From this moment forward, you stop apologizing for your pace. You stop explaining why you haven't made it yet. You haven't made it yet, because you're still becoming. And becoming takes what most people don't have the patience to endure: silence, setbacks, late nights, wrong turns, and slow progress that no one claps for. But that's exactly where the real ones are built, in obscurity, in the chapters no one sees. While everyone else is showing off their highlight reel, you're building foundations, quietly, intentionally. While they sprint, you walk with purpose, and eventually the ones who rushed will burn out, but you'll rise, steady, strong, unshakable. Let them think you're behind. Let them underestimate you. You're not here to be fast. You're here to be real, because real outlasts everything. So the next time you look at someone else's success and feel that ache in your chest, that pressure to catch up, remember this: you don't need their timeline. You need your truth. And that truth is unfolding right now, even if you can't see it yet. This journey you're on, it's not a race. It's a revelation. Every setback is not a detour. It's direction. Every delay is not punishment. It's preparation. You were never lost. You were just early in a story that was never meant to peak in Act 1. Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you is the reason most people will never escape. Your mind has been hacked, and you didn't even notice it happening. The pressure you feel to move faster, to catch up, to always be doing more, that's not instinct, that's programming. Society, media, even the people closest to you, they use urgency as a weapon. Because urgency makes you impulsive, and impulsive people are easy to control. Think about it. Why do social media platforms flood you with endless highlight reels? Why do advertisements scream, "Don't miss out"? Why does every piece of advice sound like you're already too late? Because if they can convince you you're running out of time, you'll buy anything, you'll chase anything, you'll sacrifice anything, just to feel caught up. That's manipulation at its finest. Convince someone they're losing, and they'll hand over their freedom to feel like they're winning. And here's the most dangerous part. This conditioning doesn't just steal your money, it steals your identity. It makes you live someone else's life. You take jobs you hate, rush into relationships that aren't right, force achievements that don't even matter to you, all to keep up with a timeline that was designed to keep you docile. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. You're not behind, you're distracted. And every second you spend scrolling, comparing, panicking, you're feeding the system that profits from your panic. So how do you break free? You stop playing the game. You stop reacting. You stop consuming urgency like a drug. Every time you feel that panic rise, that "I'm not there yet" voice, you pause and ask, who benefits if I rush right now? Because I promise you, it's not you. You want to be dangerous? Learn to move slow in a world obsessed with speed. Learn to think when everyone else is reacting. Learn to say no. Not because you're lazy, but because you refuse to be pulled like a puppet by someone else's timeline. When you stop chasing, you become unpredictable. And when you're unpredictable, you can't be manipulated. That's when you regain power. That's when you start building moves no one can see coming, because you're no longer playing their game. You're designing your own. So here's what I want you to do right now. Comment, I choose my pace twice below. Not for me, for you. Stamp it in your mind, lock it into your identity, because once you claim your pace, you claim your life. And don't just write it, feel it. Because from this moment on, every rush decision you don't make, every comparison you refuse to feed, every boundary you protect, that's how you become untouchable. The truth is, most people will stay trapped, but not you, not if you choose to wake up. Because once you see the strings, you don't dance for anyone anymore. Listen to me. From this moment on, you can never go back to who you were, because now you know the truth. The world only owns the people who move on its schedule. If you're done being owned, you have to live differently. No more rushing, no more chasing, no more explaining yourself to people who don't even know where they're going. Your life is not a performance, it's a mission. And missions aren't rushed, they're executed, step by step, move by move, quietly, strategically, with intention so sharp it cuts through every distraction. And here's the hardest truth you need to swallow. Most of the people you know will not understand you after this. They will call you slow. They will call you obsessed. They will say you've changed. And they'll be right. You have changed. You're not reacting anymore. You're building. You're no longer a product of panic. You're the architect of your future. So stop apologizing for your timing. Stop shrinking your dreams to fit into someone else's calendar. Stop letting fear dictate how fast you move. Because every time you panic, you make their job easier. Every time you stay patient, you make yourself stronger. The future does not belong to the fastest. It belongs to the most focused. It belongs to the ones who build when no one is watching, who plant seeds long before anyone sees the harvest, who choose foundation over flash, discipline over dopamine, purpose over panic. And you've already chosen. You wouldn't still be here listening if something in you wasn't ready to wake up. So let this be the last time you ever say, I'm behind. No, you're not behind. You're becoming. And the person you're becoming will be unrecognizable to everyone who once doubted you. One day they'll look at you, at the life you've built, the power you move with, the peace in your eyes, and they'll whisper, what happened to them? And you won't answer, horror, because you'll be too focused, too busy living the life they never had the patience to build. So I'll leave you with this command, not advice, not suggestion, command. Trust your pace. Protect it like your life depends on it. Move like the world no longer has a say in who you are or when you rise, because it doesn't. And when you wake up tomorrow, remember this. Every choice you make is either feeding the old you or building the new one. Choose the new one, every single time. Your path is not a race, it's a weapon. Build it slowly, sharpen it daily, and when the time comes, when the world finally sees what you've been working on in silence, you won't just arrive, you'll arrive unstoppable.